Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are back to another hair series video. I had shared this picture on Instagram and Facebook not too long ago, showing the skin tone that I did using my Brutfuner pencils. If you want to know the colors, just check out either my Instagram or Facebook post. I have put them both there. But I thought this was actually turned out pretty well. It was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 different colors. But they did pretty well for, a budget oil-based pencil. And I have yet to blend it. So if it looks a little rough, it's just because I haven't blended it. I'm waiting till I'm done with the hair in case I want to change anything up. So today, I thought it would be fun to do one of the requests. I'm trying to do your guys' requests, so whatever seems the most popular, that's what I go for first. That's why the first video was the red hair with polychromos, because that I had a ton of requests for. So another request was, I didn't get a ton for the color blue, but I got a ton for Brutfuner, and then I had like 2 that said Brutfuner in blue. So I thought, you know what, that's close enough to being the next runner-up, I guess. So I've been playing around with some blue colors, as you can tell from my swatch chart here. Kind of just, holding them up against her skin tone and thinking about it. First I was like, maybe I'll do something really light with like a gray undertone. Maybe I'll do something really just straight blue and, like that's it, or a lighter blue with a creamish undertone, or I have this really dark, fun indigo and blue color. And this was the first one I had swatched out, and then I ended up kind of finding myself in between these 2. So with her skin tone, I'm not really worried. Her skin tone could pull off both of these, but I think it would look a lot more dramatic and better if I did this one first. So don't worry if you wanted that one. I can do this one later. Just let me know in the comments below that you would like to see this hair color, and we can totally do that. So for this one, I am not going to do a ton of talking. I will kind of do a basic tutorial on a strand or 2, and then I'm going to do it with just music, and I'll speed it up because like the last one I kind of mentioned, these take hours, and if that last gal's hair seemed like a lot, this is a ton of hair. This is more hair than person. And we're using a lot of colors. So let me get you set up with all the colors you're gonna need. You're gonna need number 28. Oops, if I can get these out. Number 89. There's no names with these ones, by the way. Number 33. Someone did translate them and put them into names, but I'm just going by the numbers. Number 34. 87. 36. 69, which is like a creamish, and then 38. Yes, I know that's a lot of colors. Not every single one will go into her hair, but as you can see, this hair is very detailed. She has a lot of shading. She has a lot of waves coming in here. So we have like a highlight here across right here, but then it dips down, and then as it curls up, we have more highlights. So we need to bring in a lot more than like 2 colors, 4 colors. And we're at what, 7, 8 colors? So it just makes it look a lot better, especially if you kind of change it up a little with the shading. Now the black, we're not going to use as heavy as I did here. So yeah, I will get everything set up. I think we'll do just a couple strands together. Maybe I'll do like some of these outer ones. And then, like I said, I'm going to just do the sped up video. No one seemed to mind on the last one. Definitely let me know in the comments, you know, below if you prefer something else, like if you don't like it sped up. But just an FYI, you can slow down the speed of a YouTube video. There's a playback option, and you just click that and you can actually slow it down. So even though I might be moving like double or triple fast, you can slow it down to real time and follow along with me. So keep that in mind as well. I thought it'd be really chill to just turn on some relaxing music, color a lot of hair, give you a quick rundown, but then we'll just kind of go from there. I know I had a few requests to zoom in, so I will try to zoom in a little more on this one. The only issue is my camera likes to do its usual zoom in, zoom out thing on us, so we'll have to see how that goes. So yeah, let's get everything set up, ready to go, and we'll color some hair. Okay, so I'm going to do a section of hair with you guys. Just kind of going over the basics of this blue color that I picked out. And then, like I said, I will turn on some relaxing music and we'll go from there. Hopefully this view is close enough. My only concern is my camera tends to, you know, zoom in and zoom out, so it could create some issues. Let's hope it doesn't. But what I'm going to do is, if you didn't catch my first hair tutorial, the basics of hair is, you know, we're doing a flicking motion. So let me grab my scratch paper. Anytime you're doing hair, it's always flick. You have pressure at the bottom, nothing at the top. And you want to have your pencils incredibly sharp, which is why I really don't recommend any soft core pencils. So like Prismacolor, excuse me. Well, Prismacolor is really the only one that's super soft. That just makes it kind of a pain. You can make realistic hair with Prismacolor though. I don't want you to think you can't. I just prefer these because they hold their point more. You're not sharpening for days. Life is just easier. So let's do a small section together and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the first color we're going to work with, oh, silly me, skipped a step. Okay, so if you didn't watch part 1, the biggest thing is when you're new to hair, you want to work in clumps, okay? So yes, you have all of this hair here. I mean, you've got hair all over the place. I'm zoomed in, so it's a little harder to see. But I'm zoomed in because I'm zoomed in on a clump of hair. So right here to right here is actually a clump. I know you would probably think you see this line here, but see how this line comes all the way down to here? That's not the same clump. We are working right in this little shape here. So that's the most important thing. When you're new to hair, I suggest always doing clumps first. Once you get more comfortable, branch out and you can start doing like the whole thing. You'll notice when I do the sped up version, I will be doing the whole thing. So for this part, I will be zoomed in. I think when I go to speed this up and add music, I'm gonna zoom out a little just because I wanna make sure like everything's on camera, and it would be a lot harder to do if I was constantly having to, oops, move over an inch and still get a color card in here. Okay, so let's get started with this little clump here. Now I'm going to take my darkest blue first, which is 089. And what I'm going to do is very lightly see how I'm really lightly outlining that one definition of where this clump goes. I'm doing that to help me when it comes time to put down all my colors. Okay, so now we're gonna take our 028, which I assume is just called black. It might, I mean, someone translated them from Chinese and I don't think it was black, but I'm calling it black because it's black. So we're going to start at the top here in this dark area and just flick down. So you have some pressure and you're lifting up. Now, I don't want a ton of black in here. Otherwise, this is going to look very, very dark. I am simply using the black for my darkest areas, and that is it. You can always add more later, but it's a real pain to take it away once you've got all your hair down. So, all right, grab 089. And I'm kind of overlapping the black now. But again, very lightly just flicking it out. And you'll notice that I flick towards that line I drew. And this is grayscale, so the artist is already giving you a helping hand. Thank you, Mariola. She's telling you, hey guys, this is shade, this is highlight. So I'm obviously going to keep my darker colors this way more and then gradually lighten as I come out here. Does that make sense? So again, light pressure, you push down, flick up. When you're new to this, just take your time. Don't go quick, it'll get sloppy if you do. Okay, now we're gonna grab 033. It's a really pretty blue. And you'll notice I start where I'm at with the black, almost in the same spot, but I'm flicking further out, okay? That's important, but you don't want uniform strokes. So this blue color should not all have the same length coming out here. Okay, now you want your 034. And this is a brighter blue, so I'm going to bring it a little more this way. But see, I'm really flicking this very lightly, but even with the light pressure I'm using, and I'm also turning my pencil constantly to just keep that sharp point, you're going to get a hand cramp. That's why when I film these videos, I speed them up, but you'll notice quite a few breaks. That's for my hand. Okay, grab your 087. This is a darker color, so I'm going to concentrate the flicks for this one over here, where this clump is at its darkest. Because like I said, see, it's dark here because it's curving in and coming out here. So I want my darker color focused. And you should not be covering up lines. If you start noticing that you're covering up, you're not seeing individual lines here, then you're doing too much pressure. Okay, now I'm on 036. This is the brighter blue. And you'll notice I'm going to be heavier over here, but I still need to bring it down to my darker area. And I also want to integrate it into that black. It'll help soften the black. These are dustier than polys. And with this blue, I'm interested to see how that turns out. Okay, before I add my lightest blue, I'm going to take what I call cream, but it's 069. Very lightly putting this in my highlight zones. Now don't push hard because you're going to get a green effect if you do, and you're going to blend out all of your awesome highlight. Okay, now we're going to take our lightest color, 038. Again, I'm still flicking from the top here so that you see this light color coming through, because our hair strands, when they reflect the light, it's not just one strand is straight blue. It has an array of colors. I don't care what color your hair is, black, blue, brown, red, purple, pink. I'm gonna very lightly get over that. Okay, now I think I'm gonna take my 087 again. Let me find it. This is the thing with hair. You will be going back and forth, just till you get the right amount of shading. Because you don't want to leave a solid clump of highlight. That just doesn't look right. We want to cover up the grayscale. Guess I put that down. Grab my 036 again. I need to bring more a teensy down. Good thing about pencil is it is erasable. Okay, I'm actually going to take my 089, my darkest blue, and I want to darken up in here. So you'll notice I'm not going all the way up. I'm coming over my black and darkening right in here. I want to bring that out just teensy here. But again, I'm focusing the darker areas on this side. Okay, now take your 038. That's your lightest blue. I don't have the translations. I think it was Pamela's Passion for Pencils. I think she has the translations. You're welcome to use those. I just stuck with the numbers. Makes life easier that way if the names do ever come printed on a later version. None of us have to go back and correct it or guess. We just say, hey, the number. All right, I'm taking my 069 again. Where is my brush? Okay, so now let me zoom you out. The reason I want to zoom you out is because this is kind of where you see it better. When it's zoomed in, you're like, what the heck is going on with your hair? But when it's zoomed out, you can kind of get the gist a little better. Let's take 087. Where'd my 087 go? 087. I want to pull some strands out. We all have the frizzies. If you don't, I'm jealous. I actually have pretty smooth hair, but even mine is frizzy. 036. I just want to pull a few out, add kind of that natural imperfection thing going on. In fact, grab the 036 again, and I think I'm going to pull one out there too. Okay, so I know it doesn't look like much right now, and as I've said with my other hair tutorial, your hair is not done until it's all done. So I have to color all of this luscious hair, and then I may come back and add some more here, or I may leave that highlight, because right now we have a single clump of hair. It's really hard to say if this highlight is too big, if I need more blue or not, until I get the whole thing done. So that is my plan. Zoom out just so you can see all the hair we're going to be coloring. I will zoom it in a little more, you know, just for the whole process, but I did want to zoom in closer for this, and hopefully my camera didn't get all wonky on us. I have all my pencils ready to go. I have all my cards. That way you guys know what the heck I'm working on. And I am going to get us some great music because hair is like my Zen mode. I'm already excited about this color, by the way. Look at how pretty it is. I was worried the black was going to be too much, but I think the black is just right. So it's going to look killer in these areas here. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be awesome. So I am super thrilled to do this one. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. Maybe I'll even come back and give her some blue makeup and make her look, you know, like a punk rock star or something. Who knows? But all right, get your pencils ready. You know what colors we need. get them sharpened. You will see me pause a lot in these, just like my last one. There will be instances where I pause, come back. That's either because I had to stop and sharpen all my pencils or I had to just take a break. I usually do about 10 to 20 solid minutes of hair, and then I have to give my hand a break. And I highly suggest if you see a skip in the video, that should be your hint. Hey, maybe I should take a break too. Now, if you are using Brutfuners, please have a handy, soft, very soft brush nearby. These are dustier than polychromos. They do put off quite a bit of dust, and it is a smudgy dust, as I like to call it. It will leave a mark on your paper. I bought like this 2-pack of these super soft makeup brushes. I can't even remember. They're like maybe $6. I don't know. I'll leave a link in the description below. I just thought they were pretty and cute looking. Like, I don't know. They looked cool. So I bought these. But you definitely want a soft one and not like a painter's brush. Those are too hard. They'll actually hold on to the pigment, whereas these don't. So definitely get a brush, resharpen your pencils, because even after just doing this, my pencil is already starting to go down, especially on a couple of these other blues that we used more of. So yeah, get ready guys. Lots of sharpening, lots of flicking. Let's definitely get our hand breaks in. I hope you find this as relaxing as I do, and I can't wait to see it done. Okay, guys, I think we are done, other than her eyebrows. So for her eyebrows, I'm going to take some 089, just kind of outline and then flick those in there. And then let's grab some 087. Okay, and then we will need our black to finish up her eye line here. Just adding in those lashes, those things. Okay, so I think we have our blue hair. You'll notice during the video, I have some crumblies. You know, I pull a few strands out, especially at the bottoms, because our hair is not like some perfect little round circle. So I pull out some strands. For the most part, I worked with Mariola's, you know, highlights and grayscale, but there were some parts where I kind of covered over what she had as a highlight. And one that is kind of bugging me is this one up here. You know what, we're gonna cover it. It looks funky right there. So let's grab, let's grab some 089. I'm gonna bring it down. Really should sharpen these again. Okay, and then let's grab some 087. Kind of want to dole out this highlight a little. I just don't feel it's a good highlight there. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so yeah, you can see hair's curving around, you've got your highlights, it's curving here, and it's all somewhat similar, like the light is hitting the right spots. That one just seemed funky to me. I don't know. But anyway, I think we are done. I'm sure you'll notice like the bajillion stops and pauses, and that is because these pencils, while oil-based, or should we call them oily, because that's what it says on the package, I had a lot of trouble with these. They don't hold their point. I mean, when you're coloring with them on the average coloring page, this point is totally fine. But to create a ton of realistic hair strands, you need a pretty hefty point, and it was just losing its point constantly. So I was having to continuously sharpen these more than polys or lumies, you know, and this is kind of a reason I don't do hair in Prismacolor, for that very reason. If you wanted to use this technique, there are other techniques where you can get away with a softer pencil, but my technique is I want you to see every little strand of hair, and so therefore I do a lot of extra flicking work where there are instances where you can put down a base color and just accentuate the strands. Don't mind me, I'm fiddling with some of the tooth I'm seeing here. You can accentuate the strands so that they stand out, but you're not flicking every single hair strand. So my method does take a lot longer. We all have our way of coloring hair. This is the way I just like to do it. I find it more relaxing, except with these pencils. I found it incredibly stressful to have to keep sharpening. Another thing was they were very dusty. I did notice, like, I was getting a lot of dust. You might have even noticed how much I was brushing off compared to when I did the red hair with my polys. They are a lot dustier. And then I was having, for some reason, my Doll 133 sharpener, like the go-to sharpener for all of us, it's not sharpening these to a fine point. I actually had to put them in my electric pencil sharpener, and I didn't care because these are what, like 20 bucks? So I wasn't crying over that part. Had this been Illuminance, it'd be another story. But there's something up with either my Doll or these pencils. My Doll is sharpening my Felissimos, which are square, but a thicker square, but just fine. But this, I cannot get it to a sharp point in my Doll anymore. I've messed with it. I got no answers for you. So yeah, I had to keep using my electric sharpener. So that was kind of a thing. But overall, it was okay. I need to go through and like erase because it just, the dust is similar to Prismacolor where it does leave a smudgy, you know, whereas you don't get dust off of polys. The Lumis don't get as dusty, and if you brush them off, they don't smudge. These ones smudge because they definitely have a lot more wax to them than the average oil-based. But that's an easy fix. I got an eraser, just not with me. But overall, I think it turned out really cute. I think the colors are working well with her light skin tone. I'm loving the hair. You know, I don't know if I'm going to do these Brutfuners again for a while. I'd even emailed a few of my colorist friends and was like, oh my gosh, am I done? It was, and this was a ton of hair, guys. I mean, your average portrait doesn't have this much hair. This is a hair series from Mariola Budek. It is all hair. So this was a load of hair to take on. But yeah, if I had anything to say with the Brutes, as I like to call them, it's just the lead doesn't stay as sharp as long. I hit that snag with my Doll, and that could be totally my sharpener, so I wouldn't say that's their fault. But they don't hold their point. They are dusty. The pigment just does not cover as well. Like with my polychromos, I get amazing coverage while I'm flicking, whereas these don't put out the same amount of pigment. I mean, I still have some tooth showing through. So they just didn't perform the same as a polys. Now, I am comparing these to a polys because these are oil-based and so are polys, and they're both, you know, oil-based pencils are pretty popular for hair. So that is something to consider. You know, this is a budget pencil. But how did it do for a budget pencil? It did great. Like on a budget level, awesome. But if I start comparing it to the higher end ones, then it did not. But I'm loving this blue. I think the next blue I do, which won't be immediately after this, will be like a blue and gray, kind of like a silvery thing going on. I'm just picturing that. I also want to do a lighter blue and even a darker blue. Oh my gosh, I just want to do so many blues because there's so many pencil brands out there with so many blues. So, I mean, there's endless possibilities. But again, not the next one. I need a break from the blues. This was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pencils. And with 8 pencils, I got pretty good coverage. I could probably sit here and fiddle with this a little more. I highly suggest you do, like, you know, hold it up to different lights, play around with it, you know, do what you want. You can also, if you accidentally, say you got like a little too much color and you're not seeing the strands, the simple solution is you just take an X-Acto blade and you cut them out. And then you've got your strands back. So if you ever accidentally go overboard, you do have a fail-safe. My blade is really dirty. I need to replace that. But yeah, and that is also another technique and way, if you don't want to do the flicking motion, you can kind of color block it out and use this handy dandy little thing and scratch your way. And it works really well. I just like my technique, but I do use this as a saver when I accidentally, you know, like right here, too much black. So I can tone it down. Like, you don't need to take an eraser to this, just carefully scratch it off. But that's all you got to do, and you can tone it down. As long as you're careful enough, you can even go back in with a pencil color right over it. So, see there? So don't cut the paper. You're just scraping, basically a very light, feathery hand scraping the color off. Is it like an eraser? No. But it's one technique, especially like with these pencils, I had to go pretty heavy up in some areas, so you started to lose some of the strokes. So I may even just go back through myself and just carefully add those in where I see it's too dark. But I still have some tooth I'd probably want to play with, but I didn't want this to be like a 5-hour video. It's going to be sped up, obviously, except this part. But yeah, I do apologize for all the breaks. Just kind of with all these hair series, keep in mind I am going to probably film like 10 to 20 minutes at a time. With the polys, I would usually go until I had to sharpen, but with these, if I did that, I would be taking a break every 5 minutes. I had to pause a lot and sharpen. So with my other pencils, you know, I plan to kind of go till they start to dull out, take a break, because this is very hard on the hands. I don't even know how many hours we're at, to be honest, on this one. I haven't looked, but it's quite a few. I think in total, this is like 12 videos I got to string together in editing. So, and then there was one where you may notice my setting was wrong, so it was zooming in and out over here. I apologize. I caught it, I turned it off and swapped my settings. Oh, YouTuber woes. I'm not going to edit that out though, because it was showing you how to color that part of the hair, so it's staying in there. It's like seriously maybe 4 minutes of annoyance, and this is gonna be sped up, so it'll be like 2 minutes. So let me know what you think of the color. Please do this with me, like replicate it. Tag me on Instagram or share it on my Facebook group. I would love for you guys to come join me on my Facebook group. I am trying to build up the community over there versus my one-on-one. You can, you know, chat with me on my page, but the group is even better. I would love, once I post this, if you guys would reply to the thread showing your version. And you don't have to use this picture, by the way. I think I've shown you enough variations in the curvature of the hair for you to take these colors and color any picture with this color combo and get the same result. So you don't have to go buy this PDF. The only purpose of these is I needed a lot of hair. So anyway, I'm rambling at this point. I've seen too much blue. It's gone to my head. But I am so happy to finish this one. I'm not sure yet on the next color. I have a ton of portraits already picked out though, so there will be hair. I'm just kind of not sure. And yeah, just let me know in the comments below what you thought, if it worked out for you. Come join us in our Facebook group and share and hang out and show me yours. Tag me on Instagram, whatever you want. And then until next time, guys, when we're back to that flicking motion and my hand recovers, yeah, until then, take care.